Hello and welcome to an evening with the tarot. My name is Max Ryan and I am so glad that you are here tonight. This is going to be a really fun night. It's going to be pretty informative. I'm going to be giving you tools and strategies about how to work with the tarot. Now we're going to wait a couple minutes because I know that some people didn't come on right away, and I know that there's going to be a lot of people that are coming on. So let me just tell you that I am coming to you from one of my very best friends' cabins in the Smoky Mountains of Tennessee. Isn't that awesome? You might be able to hear some crackling fireplace in the background, but it's okay. I'm not going to burn down. It's really awesome. So I'm in Tennessee on a vacation, and it's right next to Dollywood, if you're into Dollywood. I love Dolly Parton, and maybe you do too. So tonight is going to be a lot of fun. And, you know, speaking of the tarot and how it works, let me just tell you, the tarot has a lot to do with energy. It has a lot to do with how you feel and what you're picking up. It's all about that here when you do the tarot and you work with the tarot. Okay? Oh, sorry, my fireplace is going crazy over there. All right. So tonight's going to be all about that. I'm going to teach you some really valuable tools and strategies and give you an overarching kind of an idea of what the tarot is about and how it can help you in your life. Say yes if that sounds good. So let me just look at the time here. We've got about 3 minutes after. We've got about 5, 6, no, there's 8 people. I want to wait a couple minutes and let me just ask you a couple of questions. Are you someone that's sort of been fascinated with the tarot maybe your whole life, and you've seen other people use the tarot, but you thought, wow, that looks like a lot of work to use. It looks like I could never memorize all that stuff. Or maybe the tarot has always fascinated you, but you were a spiritual healer and you didn't know how to like incorporate that into your work. Well, those are really the reasons why I decided to do this. And I decided to give you some of these strategies and tools so that you can actually use this incredibly powerful and positive divination tool in your work. And we're going to get to that in just a second. Let me just check out and see how it's doing with, oh good, there's quite a few people. All right, let's just start. And I want to tell you all, thank you so much for being here again. And I am in the Smoky Mountains of Tennessee. It's a lot of fun. So the first thing I want to say those questions again, because I know many people that are intuitive, or they don't even know they're intuitive, but the occult and kind of like intuitive work is always kind of called them. Is that you? Maybe that's you. It was me, and I'll tell you my story in just a second. So maybe you're somebody that just wanted to learn how to use the tarot to like entertain your friends. I mean, that's another reason to do it. The tarot doesn't have to be all heavy and dark and crazy. It can be fun and positive, and it is a very, very powerful, powerful divination tool. And when I say divination tool, I mean it's a tool that when we connect with the source or God or the universe, whatever you call it, sometimes I call it peanut butter in the sky, whatever you call it, the tarot cards can help you to actually hear that voice of guidance, of moving forward in your life. So maybe you're one of those people. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about my story. If you don't know me, I'm the creator and founder of a website called attractpositiveresults.com, where I help people move in their life from fear and craziness and overwhelm to joy and fear, and joy, not fear, joy and flow and love. Because that's what all of us want. That's what all of us want. And I do that by teaching about something called the Course in Miracles. I teach about law of attraction. And I also teach people to really use their intuition. And tonight's going to be about the intuition. So let me tell you about how I discovered my intuition. When I was very, very, very young, probably about 6 years old, I realized that when I met people and I saw them, in my mind's eye, I saw their husband or their wife. Now, I thought that was totally normal to do. I thought that everyone did that. And then I also realized when I met people, I realized that I saw in my mind's eye the house where they lived. Now, I didn't realize that that was anything kind of unusual until when I was a kid, one of my dad's co-workers came to our house, met him, and we went to his house for like a picnic or a barbecue one time. And we walked into his house, and I looked at my sister and I go, oh, his wife looks just like I knew it. She goes, what? And I said, this house looks just like what I saw. She goes, how do you know that? And I go, well, I see it. And that's when I realized there was something different about me. And you might kind of be like that too. You might kind of get those kind of what I call hits, and you might have heard of psychic hits. This intuition that's kind of overwhelming. You might know when something's going to happen, or you look back and you say, oh my God, I knew that was going to happen, or I saw that person in your mind. That is where I kind of started. And I felt very connected to the world beyond the physical world. Is that you? I bet you do too. Well, I don't bet. I know that I probably attracted you because you probably have those same kind of intuitions, right? So I knew that I was connected beyond this body, beyond this world. And then I found out I had this kind of thing. I didn't know it was, I didn't know the word psychic or intuitive, whatever that was. And as I went through my life, I just kind of moved on. I started being pulled towards researching and reading and understanding what's inside of here. And as I started to do that, I started to go, maybe I need to read more. And I read a lot of things when I was very young. And I was about 11 years old, and I was in my neighborhood. And one day I was walking down the street, and my neighbor, who I'd seen a few times, she looked at me and she said, you. And I was like, me? And she goes, come here. I was like, what? She goes, you have the gift. I had no idea what that means. And now that I'm older, I sort of get what that is. But she said, come to my house. I have something for you. And when I went into her house, she had this deck of cards there. This is the literal deck of cards that she had there. And she said, I'm going to teach you something. She said, you're able to see beyond this world, and I'm going to teach you how to use the tarot. So I sat with her, and as you can see, each card has words written on the top of it and on the bottom of it. This is my writing from when I was a kid. She sat with me, and she wrote. We wrote words. So I didn't have to sit with the book, and I didn't have to study, and I didn't have to memorize. All I did is have to look at the picture, and I had to read the words. And that's how I learned how to do the tarot. And she taught me that doing the tarot and using the tarot can be simple, it can be easy, and it can be fun. So that's why I'm kind of doing this tonight, because I want to share this philosophy with you. That looking into spirit and looking into the way that energy works doesn't have to be scary. And it doesn't have to be complicated. Usually that's your ego that's making it complicated. We can make it easy, we can make it simple, and we can make it fun. And that's why I'm doing this tonight, because I've actually, and I'm not going to say this till the end, I want to say this right up front, is that I have a program that I've created that I'm going to tell you more about later, and it's called Teaching the Tarot. And the reason that I created this program is that with my private coaching clients, they wanted to learn how to do the tarot. And I said, okay, I'm going to teach you exactly how my friend, the woman who lived next door to me when I was a kid, how she taught me how to do it. And I've taught about 12 of my private clients how to read the tarot just by doing this. And by doing this, my clients are helping themselves, they're helping their family. They are intuitives and psychics, and they're making a living at reading the cards now. It's really exciting. And they didn't have to study and study and study. They just had to use their intuition. They had to read the cards. And so later on tonight, I'm going to tell you about the Teaching Tarot course, okay? I just feel like that's really fair and integrity to tell you that, you know, sometimes some of these webinars and all that stuff, it's not in integrity, because I'm going to give you all this information, and at the end, I'm going to pull out, hey, I got this course. You know I have this course. And later on, if what I'm going to teach you tonight turns you on, maybe you'll join me in the course, okay? Great. All right, so I want to tell you again, the tarot doesn't have to be scary. It doesn't have to be dark and black magic and crazy. And, you know, my company is called Attract Positive Results. I'm a pretty positive person. You know, I have a good balance between kind of, you know, looking at the world in its kind of reality and then also looking at its potential. And the tarot does exactly that. It looks at what reality is and how you can heal and you can grow to love and to healness and to healing and to wholeness. So really, when you hear the tarot and the words of the tarot, don't be scared. It's all good. Okay? All right. Before we get into today, I want to tell you what we're going to cover today. I'm going to cover today kind of three different areas. The first is we're going to talk about the major arcana. The major arcana are 22 cards at the beginning of the deck, and we're going to talk about that. And then we're going to talk about the minor arcana. We're going to talk about the four suits, the swords, the pentacles, the rods, and the cups. I'm going to talk about that, and I'm going to give you kind of an overview of what each of them means. And then we are going to look at the Teaching the Tarot course that I'm going to offer you if you are interested in joining us. Okay? So we're going to talk about that, and I may do a surprise little card reading, and I'll teach you how to do a card reading. Okay? Thanks. All right. So, okay. The first thing I have to tell you is there's something called the major arcana. In a regular deck of cards, there are four suits, right? There are diamonds, hearts, clubs, and spades, right? So there's four suits. Well, the tarot has the four suits, but it also has a set of 22 cards called the major arcana. The major arcana are the cards that are the named cards. They always have a name with them or a word with them, like judgment or world or star. And those cards are all about what's called the hero's journey. The hero's journey is all about our spiritual evolution in this life. All the 22 kind of principles of our spiritual evolution, because all of us come here to grow and to heal our spirit. That's the reason that we're here anyway. So the major arcana, those 22 cards, help you to understand where you are along that path. Okay? Now, I just thought I can't go through all 22 cards, but I'm going to take three of the cards. We're going to take three cards and I'm going to teach them to you right now. It'll be the first card on the major arcana in the hero's journey, and then the last card and one that's kind of right in the middle. Okay? Great. So, the first card is the 0 card, and it's called the Fool. The Fool is all about this feeling of anything is possible. When you pick this card, it's that you are at the beginning of the journey. See, it's 0. It goes all the way through, and it's at the beginning of your journey. It's almost like when you're born, anything is possible. Whenever you pick this card in general, it's all about you can move forward, anything's possible. It's kind of about youthful enthusiasm, and that you know that no matter what you do, you don't care if you fail, you don't care if you succeed, you're ready to jump in. That's the Fool card, and it's not really a fool. You know, well, actually, I'm going to talk about when it's inverted. So when it's right side up, that's what it's about. It's about, you know, making choices to move forward. It's fun. It's good. Okay? It's like when you begin a project. When you begin something that you're really excited about and that you're like, yeah, this is going to work. I love it. And if I fail, I don't care because I'm going to do it. All right? So that's what the Fool card is all about. Now, every card has two meanings. There's one when it's right side up, and there's one when it's upside down. Okay? So when you turn the card upside down, oh, I want to tell you this. What I have written on my card is positive forces and inner forces. Because like I said, it's positive. You're moving forward. You're feeling that vibe of, I'm going to get it. I'm going to work. It's going to happen. Okay? It's being pulled from the inside forward. Got it? Now, if you turn it upside down, I have foolish choices. Now, if you get it upside down, you have to go, wait, maybe I'm not thinking too much. Maybe I'm jumping in this too much. Maybe I need some guidance here. Okay? So, many times when a card is reversed, it's the opposite of what the top card, card says. Okay, right. So that's the beginning of the journey. Remember, it's a hero's journey. Now let's look at the middle of the journey. The middle of the journey is a card called the Hangman. The Hangman. Now the Hangman is not someone being hung. The cards are symbolic. What are they? Symbolic. So when you, I don't need that. So when you are turned upside down and you're hanging upside down, your perspective is what? Upside down. When you get this card, it means you need to shift your perception. You need to change your perception. And when you change your perception, you change everything. You know, I work with A Course in Miracles, and A Course in Miracles is all about when you shift your perception, it's a miracle. Okay? So this is all about you need to look at things differently. You're upside down. Now, it's also the other part of this card. Now, there's many different meanings to a card. But the other part of this card, your perception's upside down when you're a hangman. But also, it's also about part of you can be, and you have to use your intuition when you read the cards, like I said before, can mean that you need to, there's kind of, you need to, part of you needs to die in order for another part of you to grow. It's sort of like you need to let go of something in your life so the other part can grow. And that's the kind of the hangman part of it, the literal hangman. Part of you needs to let go, okay, I need to let this go so I can move on, either with a relationship, with finances, or with anything. Does that make sense? Okay. So I have self-sacrifice or die to grow, use your intuition, and change your perception. That's what I have written on my card, okay? You know, those are a lot of words. Now let's look at it upside down. When you look at it upside down, it means that you're kind of, because of course, when you know you have to change your perception, you're internal, you're looking inside, okay? You're introspective. But when you turn it upside down, you're not being introspective at all. You're being egotistical. You're not spiritual. You're looking at everything outside and you want to change everything outside, but you're not looking at your own perception. Does that make sense? So when it's upside down, it's about being too egotistical. You think you understand. You think you're controlling everything. So it's very much about not being spiritual enough. So when it's turned upside down, you want to say, I think I need to get more spiritual. I need to go inside so I can see how I'm looking at the outside, because it might need to change. That makes sense? Now, let me tell you, I'm speaking really fast because I want to give you a lot of information. I should have told you at the beginning of this to get some paper and pen, but at the end of our whole thing today, I'm going to give you a 20-minute video that's going to cover some of this stuff. Say yes if that sounds good. Okay. All right. So that is the Hangman. So that's the middle of the Major Arcana. The last card in the Major Arcana is the World. The World card is one of the best cards you can get in the whole deck, really. It is the card that says, you've made it. All of your work that you've been doing, everything you've been working for, either in a relationship or finances or career, it's all come to be. And so it's literally, the world is at your feet. You've made success, and now you can do anything you want. It's one of the most powerful cards that there is. It is a card, whenever I pick it for someone, I always say, everything is happening for you. Everything is going to work out for you in whatever area. This might not mean your whole life. And let me tell you this. The cards, many times, they are kind of pointing to one area of your life. It's not always the big picture. It can be like, oh, in your finances, this is happening. In your relationship, you're on the top of the world. In your whatever it is, okay? But sometimes if you use intuition, you can be like, oh, this means everything's all worked out and the world is at your feet. Does that make sense? Good. Now, when you achieve anything in the world and you get your success, the pinnacle of success, it's like the top of the mountain, right? But it's also the bottom of the next mountain that you're going to climb, because life is a process, right? So you get success here, and then you go, oh, now I'm going to climb this. There's no there in life, right? You don't ever go, oh, I'm here, I'm done. You don't ever do that. Oh, Well, if you do, I don't ever do that. And I don't think people do that because you go, wow, this is really good, but this other area I need to work on. And so that's the way it is. So this card is really about change too. So you got your success. Now it's time to change and do something else and challenge yourself and keep moving forward. So that is the World card. And the World card is just a great card to have. Well, actually, that's right side up. Now, upside down, the World card can mean the complete opposite. It can mean that you're really scared. You're really fearful that success is coming. You have some kind of an issue that you need to heal in order to accept your success, to accept that you're already worthy, or that that people will love you, whatever it is. It can also mean that, or it could mean you're almost at the pinnacle of your success, but you've got something that's blocking you. It could be your fear, it could be your I'm fat, my thighs, whatever it is. So this, when it's upside down, is showing you, you know what, you have to heal that fear. You have to heal that unbelief that you can be worthy of all of that stuff, okay? Now, there's one more thing about this card, because like I said, it's about change. It's also about, when it's upside down, stagnation. Because you can't change if you're not moving, if you're not moving forward in your life or your career or whatever it is. So this card upside down could mean you're stagnant. And a big message with this card, whenever I get it, usually with people when I'm doing readings, I always go, you got to move. And I don't care what you do, but there's stagnation. You have to change things around. You got to move. You got to get going. Okay? So that is the World card, upside down and upside down. Make sense? All right. So let me tell you something really about myself and about the tarot just for a second, is that when you're reading the tarot and you're reading the cards, you're really reading through your own interpretation of your feelings. And in the whole program that I'm going to tell you about, I'm going to teach you about listening to your spirit guides, listening to your own intuition, so that you look at the picture and you go, oh, that's what that means. And, you know, I have done hundreds and hundreds of readings of people around the whole world. And all of those hundreds of readings, it's not always so much about reading the tarot card. It's about listening to your intuition. And if you are connected with a spirit guide, you know, I have a spirit guide that helps me. And he comes through and he says, oh, tell her this. Tell them this. Tell them this. And as I do that, I just tell people what I get. One of the things that I teach people all the time, and this is what I'll teach you in the teaching the tarot course, give what you get. If you get an intuition that you pick a card and you go, oh my God, birds, you need to say the bird so that people go, whoa. I cannot tell you how many times I picked a card and I go, birds. I don't know where that comes from, but I'm getting bird and I give bird and they go, oh my God, my mother has thousands of birds. I don't know what it is. You don't know, because when you're reading the tarot, you're just the mouthpiece for source or energy just coming through you. You just go, oh, this is about this. And it just comes through you. Okay. So all the hundreds of people that I've read for, you know, at the beginning, it's a little bit tough and you have to practice, but the more you practice, the more you trust your intuition. And the more you trust your intuition, your gut, the better a card reader you will be for yourself or your friends, or even if you want to make a business out of this or be an adjunct to the business that you have. Okay. Now, I just thought that we would go through the four suits. There's four suits. There's rods, pentacles, swords, and cups. And I'm just going to give you an overview of what each of those is today. Okay. And the way that I thought I'd do that is I thought I would just show you the ace of each of those. Okay. Let me just take a little drink because I'm talking so much. How are you all doing? You okay? Okay. Take a big deep breath. I know it's lots of information. Okay. So I'm going to tell you what each of the suits are about, and I'm going to pull the ace of each suit, and we'll look at that. Okay? All right. So we're going to start with rods. Now, every deck of tarot cards is different. Now, one of the things about the tarot is that the rods in other decks can be called wands, okay? In this deck that I'm using, I didn't even tell you the deck. The deck that I use is called the Aquarian Tarot. And I'm actually encouraging you that if you join the class that's going to be starting on January 12th, that you start with the Aquarian Tarot deck, because this is the deck that we're using. Okay, so the rods, or you might have a deck with the rods, okay? So this is the Ace of Rods, okay? All right, so the rods, each of them represent different things about life, okay? So the rods are all about activity and busyness and how you're moving through life and how you're kind of negotiating how you're going to move and your activities during the day and through your life, okay? And it's the activities, this is all about, the rods are all about activities that are kind of bringing you to or creating your destiny of your life. It's all about that. Many times the rods are telling you, you need to do this. You need to go there. Don't do this instead. Make sense? Okay. So just think about the rods as activity and kind of busyness action in the world. You got it? Okay. So that we're just going to look at the aces, and the aces are great cards. So now the ace of rods is all about, it's sort of similar to the Fool in a way, because it's about beginnings. It's about beginnings, starting things. You know, think about action. You have to actually have that intuition to move, or that spark to begin something. So this, many times I get this card right side up when someone is starting a new business, or it could be starting a new marriage, or it could even be starting a new family, like a birth. So it comes up a lot for me. This is me, and it's all subjective of how you would interpret for you. But I get it a lot when people are starting new ventures. They're like, oh, I'm going to partner with this person and create this new business, something like that. So it's really, the Ace of Rods is about beginning, starting. And the marriage thing is about starting something together, like a collaboration, okay? So the words I have on my card are beginnings, marriage, and birth. Let's turn it upside down and see what it is. Okay, so when it's turned upside down, you would think that it would be about not moving forward or not doing anything. But actually, it's really about moving forward when you're not coming from your gut. Moving forward when you're just coming from your mind, and you're like, I'm going to do that and I'm going to start that, but it's not coming from a place of, it feels right. I'm feeling pulled to that. Instead, it's about moving forward because you should. Because something in you is going, you should do that because it'll make you lots of money. You should do that because it will make you feel better. You should do that. You get it? And it's very shallow. You start things from a shallow place. You start things from a place of like, okay, I'm going to go for the money. Because let me tell you, when you only go for the money's not bad, but you're only going for, and you don't connect it with your intuition, it doesn't feel good. It feels shallow. It feels empty. It does. It just feels empty. And I believe that in our lives, eventually we come to a place where we want to have a deep existence. We want to have an existence that means something, that feels good, that feels joyful, and that feels rewarding. It feels like you're contributing to the world. You get it? So when it's upside down, it could be like a shallow existence. And the other thing is kind of spiritually lacking. I already said that. Spiritual ruin. Spiritual, like, ugh. Make sense? Okay. So when it's upside down, I have shallow existence and spiritual ruin. Okay. So that is the Ace of Rods. Let's move on to the next card, which is a great card. This is a really great card. This is, now we're going to go into the Pentacles. Okay. Pentacles. The Pentacles is, let me just check what's going on here real quick. Okay. All right. So the Pentacles is all about, if you have your pen and paper, the Pentacles is all about business and success with finances and money. And all of the Pentacles somehow I mean, this is general, but for me, whenever I see a pentacle star, I think money, business. And I want you to think that now too. So you see a pentacle star, the 5-pointed star, and you think money, you think business. Okay? Good. So the Ace of Pentacles is really about this kind of idea that you are feeling so blissful and peaceful and amazing about using your intelligence and all of your know-how to have success in business, success in money, and anything to do with finances, okay? It's a really great card. You know, a lot of people, when I pull this card up, I'll look at them and I'll go, your finances are in order. And they'll go, yeah. And I go, yeah. Because they have that feeling of, it's all good with the money. You got the savings. You got everything going on. So this card, the Ace of Pentacles, is one a lot of people want in their reading, because it shows that everything in the money kind of finances of their world is all good and it all feels great and it's all taken care of. Okay, so what I have here, and the other part I do want to say, is that because you've used your intelligence, because you've used your smarts and all of that stuff, you've acquired this success. Okay, so what I have here is bliss, ecstasy, and intelligence. And always think of these words in terms of money or finances. Okay, so let's turn it upside down. When you turn the card upside down, it is what we all think of as the evil corporate America. Okay, this is the evil side of wealth. This is when someone has worked really hard for money, but they've never come from a spiritual place, and they're using it in a way that's maybe using up resources on the earth, or they are not compensating people for what they need to be compensated for. But it's, you know, I have evil side of wealth here. It doesn't have to be completely evil, but it's just not very conscientious. It is not very, they're not using their, you know, some people that are very, very wealthy are incredibly conscientious. You know, I won't go into my whole thing about healing your relationship with money, because that's a big thing, but healing your relationship with people that are very wealthy, if you're not wealthy right now, is really important, because we put all these things that only wealthy people are bad. That wealthy people are bad. They take advantage of people. They're evil. They're all, I'm not going to say some of those words, but whatever. But they're bad. Well, this represents that. It doesn't have to be to that extreme level, but we need to heal that and say, you know what? There are some very incredibly wealthy people that are changing the world in the most positive way. Okay? That's not what we're talking about. We're talking about the ones that aren't thinking, that aren't using their advantage in the world to help everyone, the whole. Okay? So I just have one thing written here: the evil side of wealth. You just think of the big egotist. Got it? Okay. So that is the Pentacles. Let's move on to the swords. Now, the swords are all about, remember, I'm just going to review here real quick. Remember, the rods are about activity and busyness and action in the world. The Pentacles are all about money and finances, business. And the swords are all about ideas and how your mind works, and communication, and how you're forming ideas in the world. And it can be really about, I'm just say here, kind of like this false tendencies in your mind when the ego takes over, when you're, oh, thank you. Sorry, my guide comes in and says, okay. So it's like when your mind overtakes your rationality and you're not thinking. It can be like those false, horrible tendencies. So the swords are a pretty strong card, because mind is what creates our world. You're creating your experience and everything in your life from your thoughts, from your mind. So this is heavy. These can be really, really heavy cards, okay? So everything is about your thoughts and communication in your internal mind, okay? So the Ace of Swords, all of the aces in general are pretty positive, okay? So the Ace of Swords is all about a triumph over the fear of love. It really is. You know, in your mind, you can be like, I'm not worthy, I'm not good enough, all of those things. This is really the triumph over that fear, the unworthiness, the whatever it is. It's like, yeah, I believe that I'm worthy. I believe it's all good. And then you see it in the world. So that's what this is about. This can also mean birth of new ideas. You see how all the ones, laces, the ones, a lot have to do with birth and the beginnings. A lot has to do with that. So this is really about this, like, new ideas, and I've triumphed, and I can, you know, love is the highest vibration. I didn't show you my tattoos yet. You don't know them. So love is the highest vibration that there is. So when you have conquered your crazy mind wanderings and that monkey mind that says, I'm not good enough, when you've conquered that, everything else is love. Okay? That's why the Ace of Swords is about conquering the devils in your head so you can have love. Okay, or you can reveal love, actually. Now, when it's upside down, it is the Buddhists use the term monkey mind, and you want to think about the monkey mind when you're using the swords, because the monkey mind is very much about extremes: love, hate, fear, bliss. It's like it goes crazy, right? So when it's upside down, it's telling you you're in the extremes. Your mind is going black, white, good, bad, ugly, pretty, all of those things. The Ace of Swords, when it's upside down, is telling you you're too extreme. You need to find the middle in your mind. And guess one of the best ways to do that is to meditate. And I get this card upside down for people. I say, you haven't stopped lately. You haven't stopped your mind. You need to. This says there's an extreme going on. And when we're in the extreme, we're never in our spirit. We're in our ego. What do we know? Our ego. So life is happening in that place in between. So this is saying, calm your mind, get centered. All right? So all I have up here is extremes of love or hate. Extreme of love or hate. That pendulum situation. Now, did I tell you this? Okay. Right side up, I have triumph of love or hate, and birth. Makes sense. Remember, the swords are all about what's happening in your. Let's go to the last suit, and this is the suit of cups. The suit of cups is just, every time I see the suit of cups when I'm doing a reading, I get a smile, and I think, oh, this is good. This is good. Because the suit of cups is all about your emotional. And very much it's about kind of love and intuition and all of those things. So this is your not your mind, not your thinking mind. This is the swords. Thinking mind is swords. This is about your feeling self, and especially when it has to do with love and interpersonal relationships, okay? And how you're feeling inside. And if you're a chakra person, you would say this is your solar plexus. This all represents everything that's happening in your gut, okay? This is, you know, when they say follow your gut, the cups is all about that. All right. So the Ace of Cups is just a beautiful, beautiful one. When you think about the epitome of emotionality and your feelings, it's about love and it's about joy. See, love comes up a lot. Love is all there is. If you follow the Course in Miracles, love is the only thing that's real. So it's about love and joy. You know, in many philosophies, they say our point of us living is joy. Our point is joy. Our goal is joy, but joy is all there is. When we remove everything else, all of our craziness from our mind, then there's joy and there's love. And our job is to remove all the blocks to love's presence or joy's presence in our life. So this would really, if I picked this for somebody, I would say, you're on your way to real spiritual enlightenment, because it's through our feelings that we start to go, oh, I feel it. The more love you feel, the more joy you feel, the more spiritually progressed you are, the more advanced you are. Because just look at it. Look at anyone that's spiritually advanced, really. They're usually pretty joyful, even if they have no money. They're pretty loving, even if they're in a fight. They're pretty so this card comes up a lot for me when I mean for other people when I pull it and I say, wow, you've done your work. You've done your spiritual work, because there's love and there's joy happening right under the surface of you. And it's accessible to them. And usually they look at me and they go, oh, and they have that joy about them. You get it? The other thing about this, because, if you notice, almost all of the ace cards have something to do with birth. I said birth with the swords. The pentacles is kind of like the birth of a business or money. And then the very first one, Ace of Rods, has something to do with marriage and birth. And this too has to do with birth. Because when love comes together and love and joy, it heals and it blends and it creates birth, more joy, more love. And so what I have here is love, joy, and fertility, which means you're ripe and you're ready to breed and have good, amazing, wonderful experiences, and even children in your life. That's good. All right. So the opposite, when it's upside down, is all about this idea of internally, you're ready emotionally, you're ready for a change. Something has been kind of stagnant in the emotional area, either your love life, or maybe it's your friendships. I'm not sure what it would be. You follow your intuition on what that would be. But maybe you need a revolution in feelings. You know, you're feeling bored. You haven't had a high low of feelings in your life. You need a kind of revolution. You need a change in your life. And so when you get the Ace of Cups upside down, it means you need to seek out some other emotions. Really, it's about emotions, remember. So it means that you probably sheltered yourself. You've kept yourself kind of hermited, and you don't, that's not even a freaking word, but whatever. You've kept yourself kind of isolated. That's the word I was thinking of. You isolated, and now it's time for you to reach out, meet new friends, and have emotional connections that you feel good about. Does that make sense? Drink. All right, here we go. So what I have on the upside down is revolution and change. Revolution and change. Okay, let's just look at all of these again in review, and then I'm going to tell you some more fun things. Okay, so the Ace of Rods, remember that rods are all about activity and busyness in life, how you're moving action-wise in the world. The Pentacles are all about money and success in business. And the Swords are all about your mind and how your mind is working and how your thoughts are working. And the Cups are all about emotions and your gut intuition. All right? Good. Now, let's take a little breath here. Okay, so I wanted to, when I invited you here today, I wanted to make sure that, you know, I'm going to talk about my program in just a second, but, you know, I honor people. I feel like if I give my time to someone to listen, or I feel like I want to reward that in some way, because you're taking the time to expand yourself and expand knowledge. So I decided that I wanted to give you something that will help you. I made all the videos for the program, which I'll talk about in a second, but I wanted you all to be able to have the very first video. The first video is, they're all about 20 minutes long in the Teaching the Tarot course. But the first video is about the Major Arcana. And let me just make sure I tell you exactly that it's about the Major Arcana, and it's cards 0 through 6. It's about 20 minutes. And I wanted to give that all to you just as my gift for you, because even if, you know, at the end of all this, you decide that, you know, you're not going to take the course, at least you'll have a little bit more to grab onto. So I filmed this video, and I want to give it to you right now. If you look on your, let me just do this little technical stuff here. Okay, let me just make sure it's there. There you go. So if you're looking at this live right now, there should be, it says your free 22-minute preview video right to the side. It says check it out. You can click that. It will take you to another screen, and that screen has the 22-minute video as my gift to you. It has cards 0 through 6 on it, and it's exactly what we just did, but it's in more detail. And you'll see every single card in the video. So that's my gift to you. All right? Good. What time is it? Oh my goodness. It's 9:45. Wow, that's really amazing. Okay, so hey, you know what? I was thinking, one of my friends is here because I'm up in the cabin, and my friend Ben, who's a really great guy, he volunteered for us to do a little mini card reading with him. And Ben, do you want to come over here? We're going to just do a little 1 or 2 card reading with you, okay? Everyone say, hey, Ben. Say hi, Ben. You can talk. You can talk. You can actually talk. They've been so good. They're all cool. My friend Patrick is right there. So we're going to do a little card reading with Ben. Move over so you're in the picture. You're in? Good. Okay. All right, Ben. Now I'm going to show you how to work with the client or work with a friend. All right. So, Ben, this is how you shuffle tarot cards. You do it like this. You can do it the other way, but it sort of screws them up. So you want to stack them like that. So this is what you want to do, Ben. You just keep shuffling until you feel that you're done. So you're like, okay, I'm done. I'm going to stop. So you just keep doing that. This is what you would do if you were doing a reading for a friend. You would just say, hey, you keep shuffling until you feel that you want to stop. You're done? Okay. Now put them here. Now, can you make 3 piles with them? 3 piles. Good. Now, which pile do you want on top? The middle one. Okay, so he's made 3 piles. So you haven't seen. Now, which one do you want to go next underneath it? This one. And then this one?
Yes.
Okay, good. All right, so you see how his energy is in the cards now. So now he has put them together. You can do it yourself, but it's sort of fun to have your friend or someone you're working with do it. Now, I'm just going to pull the top card, and we're going to do a general reading. And the general reading, then, is what Spirit has to tell you. Okay? So you can ask a question. What about my finances? What should I do about my girlfriend? Should I buy the car? You can do all of those kinds of questions. But I believe very strongly that Spirit will usually tell you what you need to know more than what you want to know first. So we're going to do a general reading. So I believe that Spirit is saying, hey, you know what? Ben needs to learn this thing. And we'll put that card right on the top. So let's. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay, let's go. Oh my God, this is a great card. Okay, let me show it to the viewers first. Okay. Ben gets, do you see it? Ben, it's a little hard, but Ben gets the Strength card. The Strength card. Now, let me just tell you, the Strength is all about, it's time to have courage, it's time to be persistent, it's time to not give up on yourself and never forsake yourself, because it's a time for you, you have let yourself go for a while, it's time to put yourself first, do what you need to do, and you have more, thank you, my guy's going, this is when certain cards bring up certain things for me. So this is the card, when I get this card, the Winnie the Pooh song comes up, you're stronger than you think, you're smarter than you know. So this card a lot of times is, you pull it, look, I get chills all over. Does that seem true for you right now? Okay.
Very much so.
Like do you need to hear you're strong enough, you need to move forward, don't forsake yourself?
Absolutely.
Yeah. In what ways?
Well, with my music, taking the next venture and making it, taking it to a public arena.
Hear that, everyone? Ben's an amazing singer and musician. Good. So it's about having courage. Be persistent. Do not, I always think about this, do not forsake yourself. When you get this, you have courage. Don't forsake yourself. Don't give up on yourself, because you will kick yourself in the you know what. You will kick yourself in the you know what. Okay? So courage, persistence. This is also a time when there's another meaning for the courage card. When you are standing in that strength, you offset any kind of bad luck. Nothing bad comes to you because you're just like, I'm moving forward. You're positive. That's right. And it also, thank you. So my guide's telling me a little bit more right now, is that you need patience. That one of the problems is for you, thank you, Now you see what is happening. I get messages and then it comes through this. So I'm just going to tell him what it is. So is that for you in your past, you have not done something to get your goal because you're like, it's going to take too long and I don't want to work and I want to, you just sort of go, oh, it's too much,
yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Patience and persistence is the word you need to hear. Rome wasn't built in a
Day.
That's right. This is about Rome wasn't built in a day. So you have to do little by little by little. Be persistent. Be courageous. Do not forsake yourself. That makes sense? Is that something you needed to hear?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. All right. So that is how you do a 1-card reading from Spirit. You see how that confirmed where you were, right?
Yeah.
And that might not have been what you asked. You know, sometimes it's not what you ask, but sometimes you need to pull the card of what you need to know more. Okay, let's give Ben a big round of applause. I love you. Be persistent. You are smart enough. You are good enough. And gosh darn it, people like you. All right, thank you. Awesome. So that's a little bit about how you would do a 1-card reading. And personally, a lot of times when I do readings, I just start with 1 card, and that will start. Can you see how when I was talking to Ben, that starts a whole conversation about what was confirming to him and what might be a challenge. Then I might have picked another one to say, oh, really? And then we move on into it. And then the story, because a tarot reading is really about a story. The story starts to unfold. And in the Teaching the Tarot class, I will teach you all of that. So let me just tell you in our last few minutes, everyone, look there. You can check out the get the free preview there. You can click on it. Okay. I'm going to tell you this. I did this Teaching the Tarot class, and it's going to be similar to this, except I will be honest with you. For the quality, and so you can see each card, there's going to be 16 videos, and the videos have the card really close up, and you can read every card, and I voice over the explanation of every single card. There's 16 cards in all, and so the 16 cards, can I just see? Oh, that's good. Thank you. That's good. The 16 cards, they're each about 20 minutes long, and they will come to you on a Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. The whole Teaching the Tarot course is starting on January 12th. That's just, pretty soon. So it's going to start, and it's going to be 16 videos, Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. So they're every single one of the 78 cards of the tarot will be covered, and it's pretty kind of bite-sized, but you'll want to have your notebook there to take notes and do your work and listen to it. And all these videos you can rewind, you can make as detailed notes as you can. And as you see, I like to give you a lot of information. So I want you to use all of my knowledge so that you can read the tarot cards too. So it's 16 videos, and if you broke it down, it's like 323 minutes or something like that of videos. It's 5.5 hours of videos. So that is the first option. You get all those videos, and that option, the first option, is $67. So if you're interested in that, that's our first option. And I just want to show you really quickly. Hold on. There's a little thing. This really cool little thing on the side will help you to see more. So I'm going to remove that off and just show you in your sidebar right there. You should now be able to see. Did it work? Yay! Okay. I love technology. It's really fun. So it says 16 video option. There's 3 options, so don't worry. Just click, yeah, you'll be able to see all of them. If you want just the 16 video option, like I said, it's $67, and you can sign up by clicking there. Now, there's 3 options. So the second option that we have is the extend. I called it the extension option, because the extension option, you get all the 16 videos, and you get 4 live calls with me. So the whole course is going to start on Monday the 12th, and then on Monday the 19th, we're going to have our first live call. We're going to call into a conference call, and I'm going to teach you more in depth about different areas of the tarot, about reading the tarot, about, let me just make sure, about your intuition, about the numbers, because there's 1, 2, 3, 4, all the way to 10. Each of the numbers has a very specific meaning, and as you read the numbers, you're more specific with your readings too. So we're going to talk about the numbers. We're going to talk about prepping for reading. We're also going to talk about connecting with spirit. This is all kind of about connecting with spirit. So I'm going to give you kind of ideas about your spirit guides, or if you work with angels, or just listening to your intuition. Okay. And oh, the other thing is I'm going to give you some very specific tarot spreads in there. 4-card spread, 12-card spread. I just did a Christmas tarot card spread on my radio show, if you can go back and listen to that. So that's the extension with the live calls. So you get 4 live calls. I'm scheduling an hour for them, but it usually goes about an hour and a half. So you're going to get a lot more content. And what's good is that you'll be able to ask me questions. I will give you content. We'll learn, and we always have fun on those calls. And then you can ask me questions. Oh, I'm having trouble with the Ace of Swords, or and I will do my best to help you. Okay. So that's sort of a group coaching kind of thing. Good. So that is option, the extension option. Oh, did I put it up there? That's the extension option. Let me show you that. Okay. That extension option is there. Okay, I should be able to see it. I spoke before. There we go. That's extension option. 16 tarot videos plus the 4 live calls. All right. And that is $97. So it's just $30 more, and you will get I would say probably 6 hours more of, and you'll get all the recordings. So all the audios, all of that group coaching, you'll get all that too. Okay. The last, and I think the best option is my advanced extension option. Now the advanced extension option, you get all the 16 videos. I'll give you that. And then I also give you the 4 live calls, but this is the best part. The whole course is called Teaching the Tarot. At the beginning of our whole webinar, I told you that I taught my personal clients how to do this. I sat with them, or on the phone, or on Skype, and we looked at every single card, and we wrote it down, and I taught them how to learn the tarot one-on-one. So in the advanced extension option, you get a reading from me. We do a tarot reading for you. And as I'm doing it, I teach you what I'm doing. For example, I would say, oh, Page of Rods. You got a Page of Rods. There's a young man who's very, very about moving forward. Is he in your life? And then I would teach you how I'm reading you. Okay, and there will be interaction, so you can ask more questions as you're getting a reading, and I'm teaching you how to do a reading. My normal readings are $150 for 45 minutes to an hour. Okay, so you'll get all of the videos, you get the 4 calls, and you get a teaching reading, and we'll do it on Skype wherever you are in the world, so you can really look at me and I can look at you, and you can ask me anything you want. It's kind of private time with me, and you get a reading. How good is that? I love it. So the oh, I didn't put that up there. So the advanced extension option is $277. And let me just move that. Oh, move. So the advanced extension option should be up there. Now the advanced extension option, what we'll do is you'll go through the whole 5 weeks of training. And after it's all done, you and I will speak, and we will we'll schedule a private reading time, teaching reading time for you. Okay? All right. So I hope that over this hour, wow, it's exactly an hour. How good is that? How good is that? I hope that over this hour you've come to know the tarot a little bit more, spending this evening with the tarot, that it's not scary. It's actually fun, and that you know a little more about the suits and a little more about the major arcana that's going on. And please, I'm just going to stick this one thing back up here because I want to make sure that you get the 20-minute video. Remove this offer. Where is it? Video. Oh, come on. Video. So hit that check it out button, And you will get the 22-minute video that gives you a preview of the whole course. All right? So you'll be getting an email from me in the next couple of days, more about the course if you're interested. And if you know anyone, I'm doing this again on January 8th, very similar. We're going to go through these kinds of things again. But if you know anyone that might be interested in learning the tarot, please invite them, and I would love to have them here. So as I say, I always say this, I pray that love will guide you. And remember, unthinkably good things can and do happen. Take care, and Happy New Year. I will talk to you soon. Bye.